So you're finally at maps, and you have to start cultivating your Atlas skill tree. Allow me to suggest a way to do it. My passive tree I have been using for the last couple of leagues with great success. It facilitates a tremendous amount of currency in the early stages. A lot of bubblegum currency, a lot of crafting currency, a lot of stuff you can sell to maybe get an early corrupted 6-link or those uniques you're after. I know I need a couple of uniques if you have seen my builds, as well as giving me access to the content that I want to do. Link will be below as always, but allow me to just kind of go through it and show you what my plan is. The usual suspects are here. I'm going to show them in no particular order because, for example, we are running essences, but if your build is not capable of running essences just yet, you don't want to spec into it until you are ready to take on these strong essences, right? I don't know what build you're going to run, so keep that in mind. But allow me to show you Prolific Essence, Crystal Lattice, Crystal Resonance, and Amplified Energies. The entire essence mechanic. That's what I typically run. Essences are just great for crafting, obviously, but also great for selling. And don't forget, if you over-sustain on Remnant of Corruptions, you can sell them in bulk to those memory farmers, which is a nice extra penny, which can help you buy whatever you may need from trade itself. I also like to run a couple of strong box nodes early. Twice Tempted specifically together with Secret Operations, which is just a value node, but also Tamper Proof, as Tamper Proof allows me to get corrupted chest pieces, which oftentimes may result in a 6-link, which is nice. I can sell them, or if I'm lucky enough with those colors, use them myself. Very solid in the early stages. We're also picking up every single map sustain node. It's early days, we don't have void stones, we need that map sustain. We're picking up Shaping of the Skies, Shaping the Mountains. We're picking up the Shaping of the Seas, Shaping the Valleys. Every single map sustain node to keep those maps flowing in. And to complement that, we're also picking an early commissioned officer. If you want to rush a specific node, this is the one that you wish to rush. Because the earlier you get this, the more Keurig missions you will generate, the better and smoother your progression of those bonus objectives can be too, without having to rely on specific map gains that you have to drop yourself. They might just be there in the Keurig missions, so you don't have to buy maps either. Very strong. Now, you may also see that we are not actually running all the content. We're blocking stuff fairly early. My plan is to run Stream of Consciousness because we don't have fragments in the early game. So we want to get the extra content, and then block content I don't enjoy. You definitely want to block Ritual Altars, Blight Encounters. You can also block Mirrors of Delirium. I will block that later in the game, unless I want to run Delirium specifically. I also will run drop Metamorph specifically. There are a lot of people who will say that Heist is good. It is. I just can't stand doing Heist. And the fuss of selling Heist-related juice is very frustrating. I need to figure out which contracts are good, like Deception maybe. And then also do the markers stuff. It's frustrating. I just sign off on it myself. But if you're willing to facilitate that hassle, you definitely want to keep this unblocked. A lot of value there to be had. We're blocking Legion because we're not speccing into it. We're blocking Sacred Growth. I'm just planning to buy most of my juice or quickly run it because it is on the map device. So we can even spec into it while it's blocked. That's a little tech there as well, but that's not important right now. In the early game, I will not be running it unless I have to specifically really adjust certain resistances, which I doubt will be the case. We will be keeping Expedition open, obviously, because we're planning to run that. We have the Abysses. I can say no to that, as I do not rely on any early Abysses jewels or uniques. And then Breaches, we block too, as we do not spec into it, but it will be a later tactic I wish to explore since it's rework. But that's not necessary for the early stages. Now, if you find yourself in the early aforementioned stages that lack power, consider picking up a shrine. Lots of early power there in the shrines. You can supplement that with Drawn to Power for the obvious increase in pack size and whatnot, as well as additional buffs. This can give you a lot of juice in those early stages of those maps and can help you get those bosses down and those objectives sorted until you have the gear. However, if you are very strong or confident, you can just rip out these nodes and put them elsewhere. That is entirely up to you. Now, as I said earlier, we are picking up Stream of Consciousness, and we are doing that also to supplement the Expedition. We are picking up every single node of Expedition. Every single one, every circle, every notable, we're picking it up, including the one in the middle. The only ones we're skipping are the ones that specify Gwen as well as Rog, because we're trying to maximize our value on Tujin and Danny. If you have any understanding of Expedition, you know that Danny is an incredible gamble for currency, so much value. He gave me several mirror shards last week. He gave me so much divine, so many chaos, so many valuable little tidbits here and there, as well as Denny facilitating the currency required to do that, but also more logbooks and such. And logbooks themselves can sell for quite a pretty penny, which can juice you in the early game as those farmers are going hard. You can also do a little bit of farm for Rog if you want to craft yourself. I never had real luck with him, so I don't have faith in Rog. And Gwenin can be used for the occasional base farm, trying to get your bases, especially with the Crucible leak. Those weapon bases could end up being very potent. And that's pretty much most of it. I am going to experiment with Trial of Glory. It's a pretty, very passive money making. You see the trial. Is it empowered? Yes. Go in, pick up the empowered. You can sell it or use it yourself if you're feeling particularly frisky. Otherwise, you can just drop it if you're not willing to do that. Now, I have a very fast character that I'm planning to play. Very tanky, very lots of damage. So I should be able to rush through it with minimal effort. And this could help me supplement the early game currency I need to buy those uniques that I require. However, if you don't have a heavy unique requirement or really just don't have any urge to do this, I don't mind. Rip them out. Spec them elsewhere. You can do that. Maybe pick up some early June, which might be very useful because we do have to unlock all those betrayal crafts. And certainly if you are running a build like mine, we do need a bunch of flask crafts as well. But this is going to be my tree. I hope this will inspire you. As you can see, lots of bubblegum currency, lots of potential currency creating mechanics as well through Expedition, lots of power support through shrines if it's necessary, map support through the map notes, and the endless currency delivery, a stable in any build through the essences. So I think this is going to be very strong. Just one more thing, of course, the Eldritch Altars. You can simply switch them. You might have to pick up a point or two elsewhere, but you can quite easily pick up the Wrath of the Cosmos as well as Light of the Dawn if you prefer red. I find red to be a little too rippy in the early stages, so I typically oftentimes start with blue. And since the introduction of the Eldritch Gateway, you can also easily switch if it takes more than 2 points to get there. For me, it's only 2 points. But once I spec out of essences, because I want to maybe do some breach testing, I can simply go into red through these new Eldritch Gateways they've added and pick up a very efficient altar through those means. Or maybe I'll just pick up the hat. Who knows? Anyway, I'm thinking about the future. I'm excited. We are a few hours away. I hope you're already in the queue. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope this helps out. And I will see you guys on the other side. I'm out.